Hey everyone, Hazelmere Motorcycles again, and today we have the GSX-S1000. Naked 1000, very popular category these days. I've ridden the F, which is the fared version of this bike, but the naked appeals to me a little bit more, to be honest with you. I just wanted to try it out. There's a lot of variations were made for this bike, sort of different looks with extra little fancy bits. I'll talk a bit more about the engine and stuff later in the video, but for the instant impressions, damn, it is not slow. As you should know by now, I am 6'4", and this isn't too bad actually. I'm going to give it a bit of time to see if my knees cramp up, because I know there's quite a flex going on in my knees because the rear sets are quite high, but it feels pretty neutral positioned. I always like to find out what a bike is like cruising on dual carriageway or a motorway, and yeah, I mean, I'm doing 70, it's in 6th, it's doing 4,500 RPM, it's 1,000, it's gonna eat the miles up and love it. I'm doing 40 in 6th, I'm not going to change down. There's something bizarre about this. The engine seems to make virtually no vibrations. Like through the tank, I can't actually... Okay, if you get it up to the revs a bit, you can feel it, but it feels so well balanced. The engine, that is. That's actually quite amazing. Super smooth. Like super silky smooth. The engine and the power delivery is it's nice. The first take up on the throttle, you can get a little bit of fuel injection lunge, but once you're out of that, it's really nice and smooth. The engine feels very smooth. The ride is really nice, and I know this is quite a bumpy road. Gear changes are lovely and smooth, really nice. Looks wise, between this and the F, I choose this. I prefer naked bikes. The F is cool. It's a bit of a bat bike looking thing, and you know, there's some similarities in this with this like bat wing effect, but it doesn't have the nose. And I noticed on that video when I did a review of the F, people sort of said, I'm not entirely keen on that front end. It looks like it's got a bit of a droopy nose, a bit like a parrot beak. And I can see what you mean, but I mean, yeah, I think that was a good looking bike. Obviously, being 1,000 naked, it puts itself right up against a couple other bikes that come to mind, particularly MT10, BMW S1000R. This comes in a say 9.7. It comes in quite a lot cheaper than the 1000R BMW. I'm not sure what the price on the MT10 is. My right knee is starting to hurt a little bit, which means that the slightly higher rear sets are meaning it's a little bit cramped for my legs, but it's hard to say. I have bad days and good days with my knees, so the bars feel very slightly narrow to me. I don't know what it is with this narrow bar thing they're doing a lot on Suzuki's. A little little bit too close together. It might be because I have really wide shoulders, and for most people that's fine, but for me, I kind of feel like I'm going cross-eyed with my arms. Cross-armed, you know what I mean? It sounds pretty good. Yeah, I got a stock exhaust on it. It would sound a lot better with an aftermarket. From about 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, it really starts to pick up grunt, which is quite low down in the rev range, to be honest with you. I mean, it's got 13 on the clock, and it's showing what I assume is suggesting that between 5 and 10 is your ultimate range. Oh, there is one thing. You know, people joke about the size of my bike's key because it's about this big. Well, Suzuki's up their game. Oh yeah. Actually thinking about it, that is a bit excessively big. I mean, geez. I mean, yeah, I mean, it uses all of it, and can you really criticise a bike on its key? No, you can't. That's what everyone does to me. It's got very nice steering, and it feels, I mean, I want to see what tyres are on this. They feel nice. It might be just because the temperature's good today, so they're really feeling nice, but it's got a real grippiness to it. It feels very solid, whether it's in the corner or in a straight line. It's going that way, it's going that way, and it doesn't mind changing direction either, so it's nice. Now obviously it is 1000cc, and some thousands are a bit boring to ride at normal road speeds, and that's the problem I find with thousands. Why I tend to prefer the smaller CC'd engines around the 600-700 mark, or even smaller, because you get to use more of the engine, more of the gears, without, you know, really risking your license. And this hasn't fallen foul of that too badly. Second gear is a nice gear. When you sit between the 5 and the 10,000 RPM part, you're really just on the power constantly. Levers, they are like all the Suzuki levers now. They're a little bit cheap, but they're perfectly adequate if you want to use them. If you look at them closely, they're a bit cheap, but you're probably going to replace those anyway, and that's what Suzuki seems to do, is they make the bits you're most likely to uprate yourself with third-party parts. They make them slightly cheaper but adequate. So I mean, the front brake is adjustable and everything, but they just look a little bit cheap. Same can be said for the side stand, and even the rear sets are a little bit cheapy, but perfectly adequate. There's the build quality. There's nothing wrong with build quality. There's nothing wrong with the finish as such. They just don't look really good. They just look adequate. So you've got high beam, low beam, pass light, your modes, indicator, horn, kill switch, hazard lights, and start button. So not a lot to it. The modes, you can adjust the traction control. I've just got it on 1 rather than off. You've got a gear position indicator, your revs across the top, speed, trip, and then you've got a fuel gauge down here, and you can have a choice of range or average information on there. Nothing too fancy, but everything you need, which is, frankly, a good thing. Because too many buttons and switches can get annoying. I forgot to do this bit earlier, so I'm going to have to record it later and stick it in now. It's a nice looking bike, I think. I like the front end. It's very waspy in its, you know, insectiness. Quite hunched in the tank, as I say. It's got the Batman-y flare of like on the F. But it looks together, it looks right. The headlight doesn't stick out too far. It's not weird looking from, you know, from the dials. It's just got a nice display. This, obviously, regulations have to have it. You just look at the state of it. Get rid of that and get a tail tidy on. You can see that I bring the back end right in, which gives you a nice sleek tail. Swing arms, again, I think that might have looked better if it was in chrome. Same as the F. But then it goes with the frame, so maybe not. I don't know, I like a swing arm. A nice bit of metal like that, polish it up. Exhaust is alright, but I think something a bit more open would be better for sound. So if it's my bike, I would like the pillion pegs to be off, but yeah, if you're going to use them, okay, leave them on. If not, take them off. tail tidy, levers, different rear sets, different exhaust. Oh, actually, the exhaust is on that rear set, so you will need some sort of eliminator, unless you can get a rear set that accommodates that. Brembo's in the front, just a standard brake on the back. And there's also, you can replace these bits, I'll show you one inside, that's got more of a carbon effect. And you could really make it look special. It's plenty quick enough. It's more than enough. It's got a really calm, planted feel, which is really nice. Feels reassuring that, you know, it's going to hold its line, and if you need to go tighter, it'll do it. Suspension seems good. It's definitely sporty and firm, but it's not ludicrously sporty and firm. It's not into the uncomfortable side of it. It's got a good happy medium, you might say. It's clear behind me, see what the brakes are like. Pretty good. Let's try that again. Yep, they've got a very nice progressive feel to them. Start working almost instantly, enough to just take that little bit of speed off, but you just, you know, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then it really starts to, yeah. Nice, I like those. I like those a lot. No, it's good actually. If you go one gear high, it feels calm and relaxed and nice. You go down a gear, and it's quite savage. So, depending on how you're riding, just be second or third on most roads, because, you know, most roads you're going to get are going to be 60 mile an hour, and second is pretty much all you need for that. I love its pull out of the corners, you know, you lean it in, you just neutral on the throttle, then you get onto the line and then you start getting on it. And you seem to get on it really early and it doesn't feel dodgy, it just feels fine. Although I see brake lights around that corner, where are they? Yeah, they're around the next one. Gorgeous, lovely. Engine braking isn't massive, but it is enough to use in situations that you want just a little bit. You just drop a gear quickly. So in conclusion, lovely bike to ride. Between this and the 1000R, because I've ridden that one, I can't say, I mean, yeah, the 1000R had a load of extra gadgets on it, but you don't, personally, I don't really need them. It's got traction control, it's got ABS. You know, that's all you really need. And it's a few grand cheaper, so yeah, good one. Build quality beyond the cheaper parts like the levers and the rear sets, which, as I say, they're perfectly adequate. They will not break or anything like that. They're going to last. They're just not as nice as if you have some, you know, just nicer ones put on there. And that, it really does change the feel of a bike, the controls. Love this colour. What a gorgeous blue. What's this? Official Suzuki GB 3-year warranty. It's got a sticker on it, so I assume it's got one of those. You know, it's not massive, it's quite manoeuvrable. You could commute on it, no problems. Longer distance stuff, yeah, the seating position for me is a little bit forward and a little bit scrunched, but I'm very tall, so if you're a little bit shorter, it'd probably be better. Oh, fuel light's going, so I'm just going through the menu. Gives you the miles per gallon. It's not your average, it's using them, and your range, 27 miles. More than enough to get it back. You can filter it. So yeah, very good, very impressed. Thanks very much to Hazemere Motorcycles for the loan. That was a good one. I'll catch you next time. You just got to look like you're supposed to be in a place, and it works out fine. Setting up all the stands. The temptation to absolutely hammer it off that way is just, it's high.